quick recap of stuff I've learned in the last few days. Some enemies that drop codexes now respawn. Like, immediately. I went to Scorched Enclave and the Rat King respawned before I even finished drilling for the codex. This makes farming for character experience drastically easier than it ever was before. Drills now also spawn everywhere all the time. Water is now hilariously easy to farm thanks to the tunnels. Not that it matters. Water is literally just an inconvenience that only affects people who don't have the resources to mitigate that inconvenience. And I have plenty of resources. Don't forget that explosives are actually water in disguise thanks to the risky cargo quest.
Feel the ground shake? They're on their way.
Progressing to a new region heals you. This is great. Fall damage has been greatly increased. This is not great. While in the tunnels, you now have a light aura. This is kind of standard in a lot of games, but it's funny to see it in the Forever Winter, because it means the rig light is now mostly pointless. The rig light has such a short range that the new light aura is almost as good as the rig light on its own. Rig light has long needed to be demoted from being a large item, or needs to be heavily buffed to be better than a flashlight. I stumbled across a small YouTube channel that posts videos about the Forever Winter called Nil. I will link the channel in the description. On said channel, I found a helpful video about how to cancel the very annoying landing animation that was added with the stamina system. Basically, if you aim down sights briefly while falling, the landing animation doesn't happen. He said in the description that you can also do it with the turnaround key, but I play on controller, so I don't use that. Using the animation cancel to chain sprint jumps with the jump pack seems like it's the fastest way to move that doesn't consume stamina. Just running is probably still faster over short distances, though. I now constantly ADS while falling to cancel the animation wherever possible. The game now constantly gives you ammo for whatever your equipped guns are. This is convenient, but also kind of disappointing. Meticulously searching every container hoping for just a few more of the correct type of bullets to help me escape the map alive was one of the most scavenger-like experience that I've had in this game. Ammo is now very plentiful in comparison. Okay, now here's my strategy for farming construction materials. First, equip the Tunnel Vision quest. Our plan is to teleport straight to Tunnel D and then exit via Underground Cemetery to offset the water cost of entry. I got really lucky. While I was doing this, I happened to get the best variant of Tunnel D for farming folk, which on the foreverwinter.wiki.gg is listed as Variant 3. I recommend looking at the maps on there regardless, they help a lot with routing. Tunnel D Variant 3 allows you to quickly reset containers with the checkpoint and then leave via the cemetery with low risk. This general strategy can be applied to any variant of Tunnel C or D, but some variants are going to be much less efficient due to the proximity of the containers to a checkpoint. If you use a checkpoint to return to the main menu and then come right back, the map gets refreshed, including enemies and containers. Loot in general in containers now spawns in a very specific order. First, the old universal items will spawn, and then the new area-specific items will spawn, and then sometimes special ammo just for you spawns on top at the end. This means that if you're looking for the newer item types, you have to wait for the old boring items to reveal themselves first. But actually, no you don't, because they still have not patched the fast container search bug. When you enter a map, you always have to fully search the first container. But after that, you can just tap the search button once, and then hold to open, and all of the items inside will be instantly revealed. The wiki claims that construction materials can come from any container. I do not know if that's true or not, but it misses something pretty significant. Tunnels C and D clearly have astronomically higher drop rates than other locations, and not just because there's more loot per container. This next bit is conjecture on my part, so what I'm about to say might not be entirely accurate, but after several hours spent checking containers in the tunnels repeatedly, I have some theories. I think that in the tunnels, loot is spawned in batches of linked containers, which I'm going to call sectors. I think each sector gets a loot roll, and that roll can land on one of three things: normal loot, rare loot, or barren. and after that is determined, the individual containers roll for what loot they specifically contain. A barren roll will cause most containers in the sector to contain almost nothing. A normal roll will fill the containers with standard loot, and only a rare loot roll will enable construction materials to spawn in that sector with any frequency. If you're in the tunnels and you find a room with containers that are mostly empty, odds are that the rest of the containers in that room will also be empty. Maybe one or two will have loot, but probably not construction materials. On the other hand, I've noticed that there are some items that spawn much more consistently in rare sectors that are not construction materials. Namely, the UV light bulb and the black light. If you see these two items, thoroughly check all of the other nearby containers. It's not 100%, but like more than 80% of the time that I have seen these two items, I have found construction materials in a container nearby. This is part of why I think the container loot is rolled in groups. I also think that some specific spots are better than others. This small room with 3 containers that I just searched is where I have found more than half of all of the foam that I have. Okay, that's all I got for now. I am actively accumulating a hoard of construction materials in my rig so that I can do a stream where I repeatedly give it away to anyone who wants it and then load out to reset my inventory. If you want to grind it out the intended way, more power to you. But if you're somebody who doesn't really feel like playing this game anymore because of the foam grind, then I am here to set you free. I will make another community post when I figure out when the stream is going to be. Till then, peace!